Hello and welcome to another Learn and Grow Snappy Chat. This is where we get together and we talk business because guess what? What I've found, I'm sure have found as well if you're in your own business, it can get pretty lonely, right? And we can all learn and grow together because we go through many of the same challenges. They may look slightly different, but they're similar in many ways. And this is why I put together this show. So I'm Christine Bell, but we're not talking about me. Today we got the wonderful Michael here. And Michael is a social impact entrepreneur who's come up with a fantastic product that my husband has also trialed and loves. And I'll let you talk more about it, Michael, and introduce yourself as well in terms of what you're all about and what you do, because I love it. But let's share with the world.
Yeah, so I'm the CEO founder of the Flo Group, and we operate out of Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Obviously far away from Australia, but I'm trying to get that global reach, and I really appreciate you bringing me on your show and giving that exposure to talk about my journey and my story. So my product is something that resonates with my own personal journey because I have a disability myself. So those that don't know, I actually have a sight blindness. It's a retinitis pigmentosa. So I've lost my peripheral. I only have tunnel vision on one side. But that's what kind of gives me that personal, I can resonate with my clients. So I have that personal journey, and I wanted to have a product that can actually help others that have disabilities, right? Sight disability, hearing disability, and over time, from working with lots of seniors and working with lots of people in different organizations, we keep evolving and we keep, coming out with new ideas, new brands, no, not new brands, sorry, new ideas, and to improve our branding, right? To grow from feedback, right? Just like I get feedback from clients to, what they like and what they want improved, and you have to listen to other, your clients, right? And and we have a new product that's been launched, and that's what I'm going to share with you right today. Yeah.
Wonderful. And I just want to say hello to Royce is here. He says, yay, Michael Leung is live. And here we are again. Thank you for being here, Royce. Now, I love what you do because we live in a world where, we're just doing our own life. We're just so focused on ourselves. And the fact is, we are many humans here on this earth, and a lot of us have different disabilities or different things that, is challenging, but also helps us grow in who we are, correct? Yeah. So every challenge will come with an opportunity to grow, as hard as it is. And that's what I love. We got Jackie Holberg here. Hello, great to see you. So I love what you do, and my husband loves it too, because my husband has kind of lost his hearing a little bit from swimming for so many years and hasn't had that operation he needs to have. And he used your product, and he's like, it's fantastic. So tell us a little bit more about the product before we talk about the challenges, because you got two products and you're launching worldwide, aren't you, on Shopify and other platforms?
Yeah, we just opened up 140 countries. Slowly is building, getting more and more traffic coming in my website, which is good, from actually 100 different countries. So people are coming in, people are looking, or they're researching my product, which is great. So our first product is the one that he has, and it's actually catered to people that are kind of want to spend maybe a little bit less. It's our base product pretty much, right? So it helps people that have hearing loss and blindness. So it has that background sound, which I found that people with sight issues would find that as an advantage. So they can use the background sounds to navigate. They can use it to be more alert, because when your sight is diminished, you actually need background sounds to actually help complement your next sense, right? So you have this enhancement for your next sense, which is your hearing. So it helps people that have severe sight loss. Now they can use it as an advantage, right? Whereas my second product, we've advanced it to the hearing community, because we actually put in a smart noise reduction chip, because the hearing industry don't really like background sounds. They actually want to hear what's in front of them. The background sounds confuse them because there's too much going on everywhere, right? So we decided to put this smart amplification chip in it. So the moment they put on the amplification, it only really focuses in front of them, and the background is minimized significantly. So that's the really big the cream of the crop, I guess, to this product, that even hearing aids have background sounds. So a lot of people have been really impressed with this product, and there is a dual sound control on both sides. You can actually, put it to the desired level that you want, because some people have one-sided deafness, right? So you can put one side lower, one side higher, right? And there's environmental modes, indoor, outdoor, vocal. So you can adjust the environment you're in. So great features we added into this new product. It's a little bit pricier, but not by a lot. So people are still pre-ordering and just loving it, right?
And I love that. And one thing you told me earlier, and I think that's worth mentioning as well, you've just specifically decided not to go through FDA and getting the medical approval because that would take the price very high.
Correct.
So this is actually a retail opportunity in terms of reaching the masses, I guess, for people who need this but don't necessarily want to go all the way with a full-on hearing aid, right? And it also sits very nicely on your bones, so it's a little bit more discreet, I guess, and not in your ears.
Exactly. And they can cater to retail later, where people can just pick it off the shelf and just use it, and it works, right? So
yeah. And what's the price point roughly in American dollars, I guess?
So American dollars, I think it would be, well, it's 299 Canadian. So that's
that'd be even cheaper in America then. So very good price.
Yeah,
and good for Australia too. So that's really exciting. Now, of course, and I just want to say, Moosey, he's very much a profound admiration of your achievement and endeavor, and congratulations on your launch. And Jackie's saying that's amazing. You have so many countries responding to your products. But as fantastic as your product is, and I love that you use market research, always talking to your clients to learn and grow and iterate your product so it's getting better and better, correct?
Yeah, for sure. I think getting feedback from the market is critical, and you have to put your ego aside sometimes, and just and that's how you succeed is to get what the market wants, right? And through testing, you got to test the product, make sure that's what they want. And so far so good.
Yeah, but this is a way to grow, right? It's a way to learn. It's actually through, when we create a new product or service, we can go, this is exactly what it should look like. But the truth is, most of us will have to iterate as we go, because that's the only way to truly get it to be what it needs to be for the people who are most keen to work with us or to buy our products and services. And it's a challenge. It's not easy, right? To get that information and ask those questions. And you said, like, your ego. And I just want to say, Roy said, never thought about folks wanting more background noise or background sound. So my husband was actually one of those saying he really loved that, because it has a benefit when you can hear some, but he's sitting in the office. It actually helps him still be able to do his work, but also hear what's going on behind him.
Yeah, I think it's a personal preference, and as you know, as I work with seniors, that industry, particularly seniors, they get very confused, and they get agitated when they hear too much sounds that's everywhere, and that's why the second product really caters to them, and then I found that the first one caters to more the sight loss community, right? So I'm kind of trying to navigate both my products to different communities, and not leave one behind. And I just found a nice niche for one of them too, right? So
yeah. Jackie Olmsted is here too. Great, wonderful to see you. So what is one of the big challenges you find? I'm sure you got plenty of challenges in terms of building a brand. You can put it out on Shopify around the world, but if no one knows it's there, they're not necessarily going to buy. So what's some of the big challenges you faced? You can choose one,
yeah, I think my biggest challenge, and it's just a part of growing and like my journey, but what I see other people do when they have a product is they don't really put the work that I put in, and really get to know your clients, really do your events, do your face presentations. People see you talk about your life story, talk about your obstacles, and that's what resonates with people, is creating an image for your product, right? That can last forever. But when you take shortcuts and don't be patient, you just throw it on Amazon, you could get success short term, but then it might disappear or it might destroy your brand, right? And I didn't want that. I want to grow it, organically, which is through hard work and just door-to-door visits, different communities, different, and it opens the doors. Once you hit, one market, it opens the door for another market. And it's me just really never giving up and just throwing myself out there, networking all day, and my ADHD is my superpower. I've become obsessed with wanting to perfect a lot of things. So I try a lot of things that most people don't try, and that's why I actually apply for lots of different podcasts and lots of different TV shows and magazines. And then for some reason they really love this story, so I've been accepted on these things, right? So I've been using that as an advantage, and so far so good, right? Not everyone can do it. You got to do it based on what your product is, right?
Yeah, but I love what you do, and I think there's something, especially with the internet, sometimes it can almost allow us to kind of hide behind the screen in terms of going, oh, I'm just going to do a business, I'm just going to throw it on LinkedIn or something, and then hopefully it will work, right?
Yeah.
When in fact the old-fashioned ways are still very important too, in terms of you are out there knocking on doors, which can be very uncomfortable. Most people don't like to reach out to people, cold calling or cold knocking doors, and say, here I am, can I talk to you, can I get on your show, can I do this? Yeah, you got to be really proactive and not afraid of asking.
Yeah, and I've been shut down in the beginning, right? And people just not giving me a chance because it was so new, right? But I took every opportunity I got, and now people are reaching out to me, and like the ones that gave up on me are calling me. So it's a really nice full circle, it's a karma, thing, right? So I love that, and I take it as a humbling experience, and fuel to actually keep going, right?
Yeah, and you got a great product. By the way, Jackie's asking, I feel compelled to ask how you define senior.
How I define senior? I guess in the ones I work with are usually in senior homes, 80s to 90 years old. A lot of them they still care for themselves, but I actually work with the dementia patients as well now, because they actually found it actually very useful, that the open ear technology is actually one of the only things they actually can use, because when they wear hearing aids, they find it so annoying, and when you have dementia, you actually want to yank it out of your ears. You actually don't like anything in your ears, right? So when we put this on, they feel so comfortable, like they're not even wearing it, so they actually use it. So right, so they don't lose this thing either, right? And a lot of big problems is that seniors lose their products, and they're worried they have to pay another $8,000. So this is just perfect, right? Perfect price, perfect way to learn new technology. So yeah.
I love that, and I just want to say, Satai is here. Hey, great to meet you. Phil Davis is here, my old friends. Great to have you here. So wonderful. But I think, that's a great market, of course, and you are knocking on the doors to all the senior homes, I believe, and which takes time, but that's really helped you in terms of understand how the product works and the benefits of it and what they need, which is wonderful. But I also think, my husband is not in an aged care home, right? He's in his 50s. And I think there's a bigger market here, which is why it's so wonderful that you're not positioning it as a FDA approved hearing aid, but rather, I guess, for recreational as well, for those who have some hearing loss or some sight loss as well, right?
100%. I think it just happens I'm in the senior industry, but when I do my podcasting, it's really catered to all ages, and I really want to cater to everybody, right? Everyone can use this to benefit and improve their life. Laborers, like people, children with special needs. But when I actually start working with those markets, I'm going to really focus on them. But right now, I'm just kind of going market to market, so I don't fall off the scale. It's a lot going on, but I know eventually it's gonna go around full circle. So
yeah, and I think that's such a good point in business, right? Sometimes you'll be like, well, I could do everything for everyone, yeah.
Yeah,
and if you're a one-man band doing it the way you're doing it, building from scratch rather than getting in a lot of investors, etc. I don't know if you are getting investors now, but in terms of, you have definitely been doing it, as a one-man band, and that's amazing. But it also takes time, and we can easily overwhelm ourselves trying to cater for everyone and do everything, right? So I love the approach in terms of being, okay, this is what I'm going to do first. I'm going to do it really well, and then I'll move on to the next segment.
That's right. I have a strategy, and it obviously, even just doing what I'm doing now, I get very little sleep. So there's a little bit of pros and cons, but I'm trying to readjust my life and have a little social life as well too. So that's important. So for a while I was just a hermit, under a rock, just working away. So
yeah. Yeah. So what is the challenge in terms of your life then, in terms of not only obviously building your brand, which is obviously you are doing it by knocking on doors, getting speaking gigs, etc. And anyone out there who's listening or listening to the replay, if you got a speaking gig for Michael, please get him on. This is a fantastic product in terms of social impact that more people can, who have hearing losses and who may not be able to afford the $8,000, options. This is a fantastic alternative potentially.
That's right. Yeah, like and the podcast things I do, it's also like I have different genres. Like I actually do some mental health. I do some trauma because I had such a interesting life, as growing up, discrimination. So I like podcasting because I can talk to different markets, not just disability, but entrepreneurship, everything. So
Yeah. And in terms of getting all those gigs, what's the challenge in that, and how have you overcome it? I know you said you keep knocking on doors. Aunt Randy's here. Great to see you. So how do you get on all those, knocking on doors and yet actually getting people to listen?
With Dragons Den, it was just, so basically I had to fill an application, and like all these other shows and stuff that I had to do, Legacy Makers, all start off with an application, and they'll get back to you. Then they interview you, and they like you. They'll have you for audition, and then they go from there, right? So I'm not 100% in yet, but I'm very confident that with everything I have and everything leading up to it will be very compelling for them. But it's just a matter of just risk taking, really, just researching what works with your product and what you think can grow it. So mine was podcasting and TV shows and magazine features. I felt that's going to really help me get the word out there to global markets, right? So, and a lot of it's free, so you use that to your advantage, right?
So it's really around, the lesson I'm hearing here is like, never be afraid to do the hard work, and never be afraid to knock on doors and cold calling, cold knocking, and just keep asking, and just do the work.
Not just come out of your comfort zone. This is something I never thought I would do. I used to be shy and like I don't like talking in front of large groups, but now I gravitate towards it. I was like, I hope the groups get bigger, It's like, hey, so, I think it's just having confidence too. As you build, you get more confidence, and you have that passion and love for the product, which you need to have, right? If you don't have that, it's hard to really have people see how much you love it. So that's what I think people should do too.
So it also comes down to not just as a founder, because I know founders who's like, well, it's not about me, I'm just selling a product. I'm like, well, at the beginning, at least, you are the brand, right?
That's right. That is right.
And you have to put yourself out there to talk about it. And we got Royce here, who's great at anyone who's scared of talking, whether on podcasts, anything else. He actually trains people in that, being a radio host in America. But that takes time too. So, it's not that easy always, especially if we're shy, right? I was a bit shy putting myself on LinkedIn, but here I am. And practice does help you.
It does. I just think like I'm not shy, like when I talk to my friends, like just talk, but when you actually go out on the stage and talking in front of strangers and people that are wanting to learn about you and your product, it's a different kind of nervousness. But I think as time goes by, you just know that if you're nervous, people are going to see it through you, and that's not going to help you sell your product. So you got to be confident and just go in there, know that they're here to watch you, they're here to learn from you, and everything will take care of itself, right? So.
And I think also courage does build confidence. So we need to have the courage, and that way we'll build, to be out of our comfort zone and then build the confidence through that. And Phil says, true, more progress brings out more confidence. Absolutely. And Moosey has a question for you. If I'm not mistaken, this is a very competitive market that you're in to thrive in. And he's asking, what has really propelled you to continue on and winning in this market?
That's a good question. For me to keep winning is to keep evolving and always keep having new products, because the market evolves as well, right? So if you don't have anything that's going to eventually get washed out, you need to keep the competition. You got to keep having new products. And for me, I'm not worried about competition for me as much, because I'm the first one in this industry doing what I'm doing. So, and I already put the foundation in. I feel like if people don't really put the hard work in. They can throw products out there. They can mimic me all day. But to get into the senior industry, to have that trust, took a lot of hard work. Seniors don't trust anybody. So they can call and just say, hey, we have a product. They'll just hang up on you. So for me, it's like I had the hookup from my friend. She's a director. She brought me in and I never looked back. I took that and I ran with it, you know? So I'm not too worried because I feel like people will try to always emulate somebody, but not everyone's going to go and put their blood, sweat, and tears into it that I have. So end of the day is that I'm going to keep working hard to keep growing it and growing it and growing it and keep changing and keep just make it interesting all the time.
Yeah. So you just got to keep like, put yourself out there and really work hard. Like, you know, you're not going to be successful. Most people won't be successful if they're not willing to put in the hard yards, right?
Yeah. I feel like even with success, I am going to keep putting myself out there. You know, some people lay back after and just they'll do the work and then they'll take a vacation and for a long time or let other people work for them. Is like, I like doing what I do and I want to be always out there.
Yeah. So Randy says he's shy. I'm like the Tin Man. Well, shyness is okay. We can all be shy, but that doesn't mean we can't have confidence to put us out there when it really matters and it's something we're passionate about. And I think that's probably what propels you as well, is that passion you have for what you do, correct?
Yeah, 1000%. Yeah, 1000%.
And yeah, making a difference, which is you are. And what I like is the way, you know, it is a competitive market, but I guess there's a benefit in you not going the FDA way, because that way you'll be up against the people like the brands like Apple, etc., who are all producing stuff in this area as well. So I love that you have made it more of a retail product.
Yeah, retail with a little bit of you know, or like a half retail, half medical, I guess. But in a trendy kind of cool way, they can wear it without the stigma that looks like a hearing aid. So yeah.
Yeah, wonderful. So what's next for you?
The next for me is I have like 17 events and I have a bunch in Vancouver. Now I can actually merge there. 4 senior homes want me there. So and then maybe next year, early next year, I'm doing Ontario. So kind of going national, and then Dragon's Den is in March. So I just want to do all this leading up to it with a nice, you know, portfolio, like you know, so that, you know, you can impress them, right? They're going to throw different things at you. So to crack you and try to break you. But, you know, if I have everything, you know, to you know, back me up on things, I think I'm going to go in pretty confidently. So, you know, but yeah, stay busy.
Yeah. So Randy says the 2 most dangerous words in the world, trust me. Very true. Don't trust anything until you try it, but your product works, which is great. Now, so are you then looking for investors when you go into the Dragon Den? Is that for getting investors or is it just for getting exposure?
I thought of both. So I'm going to do some research on, you know, if I don't take their offer, because I know there's some people that didn't take it and they didn't do very well after. But if I come in with already enough revenue and stuff, then I might not need them, because why would I want to ask them for money and then give them a portion of my company, which is going to be even more, right? So if I can keep my company to myself, I'd rather do that. I want to branch it off to other people because it could get complicated. So TV time is what I want. Like, I want that free airtime to get my product out there. That's more important.
And get your brand and product out there. So Shopify, final question I have before we finish up. It's not easy to build on, I guess, Amazon as well, but Shopify as well. How do you build internationally in Shopify and
Shopify? So I needed to pick something that was a payment system that you can, you know, use as a payment system internationally or in person. And I felt that Shopify had the best product for me to do in-person sales. And then of course they have this nice online sale fulfillment that other companies, logistics can actually help you, you know, deliver and stuff. So I felt it was the perfect thing with my Squarespace website. It all interconnected together perfectly. So
yeah. So that's why you chose it. But how do we build our brand on Shopify? Is it you have to do it in person, or can you do something on Shopify for anyone who's in the e-commerce space?
You can build Like you can build on Shopify, like you can build an online store and everything on it. I never built an online store on Shopify. I just merged it with my Squarespace and I built on my Squarespace. Yeah, yeah. So Amazon is more for, people who just try to sell products. Mine is for growing my brand on my own domain, right? So it's just merging the domains together. Yeah.
Okay, I see. Okay, so you don't want to
Yeah.
have a store on Shopify?
You could, but I just haven't had time, and I could if I do that, it could get more exposure. So I just haven't had time, but it does take a while to build that, So yeah.
And I think this is a really important point you just made. Most businesses, unless you already have your customers ready when you start your business and a product or service available right now, and you have the customers already at your, ready and waiting because they knew you from a previous life, or you might have done the work before in an agency like me, and then you start a business and you just take the same clients. That's different matter. But for most people, it's building a business, a product or service from scratch and wanting to scale it. I think most people forget it takes a lot of time and a lot of effort.
Oh yeah, a lot of patience. Yeah.
And a lot of disappointments and a lot of knockbacks. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Luckily for me, it is my first product and my first company, so it has worked a lot more swiftly than maybe most. So I'm lucky that way. So, but not everyone can have that. So yeah.
So just for Randy, who's come in late, he's like, "What is your product?" Let's tell
Yeah,
anyone listening.
assistive hearing device, but in technical specific terms, it'd be an open ear bone conduction headphone with an amplification, right? So that amplification is what makes me different than every other bone conduction headphone out there, and that's what
It's on the bones here, right?
yeah, the bones on the upper cheek, and it sends sound vibrations through the cheekbones into your inner ear, right? So that's why your husband, he has maybe middle ear issues, so it blocked it off. So now it penetrated through that damage wall and went directly to his healthy inner ear. But seniors have sensorineural, which is the inner ear issue. So the trick for them is that if their inner ear or cochlea is damaged or severely damaged or profound, that's when the sound vibrations are not going to pick up, right? So that's where the challenge is for me working with seniors. It's 70% of them might work and the rest might not work. So you have to be acceptable that there is going to be some failure in that aspect, right? Not everyone's going to work for this, but most people will work for it. So yeah.
Wonderful. And Randy says, very nice. And Randy, just in case you're interested, it is selling directly on retail in terms of on the website. So you can buy it without having to go through the FDA. So the price is a lot better. So anyone who needs a product like this, and my husband is in his 50s and he certainly can use it. It's it's for more people than just the ones in the nursing homes, although obviously aged care is very, very important for you. One final question from Musi, and then we'll finish up if you don't mind. He's wondering about Africa.
Yep, Africa's on the list. Africa's on the list, yeah, of course. 140 countries, yeah. So pretty much most countries, I think I've added on there.
And I think he says, how can you make it affordable? Well, I think your price at what was it, $299?
$299 plus tax,
Canadian.
So Canadian, 300 something compared to 8,000, 7,000, where most people can't afford in the world because they're low income is what we're catering towards, right? But obviously not everyone can afford or qualify for a hearing aid, so people would need this option, right? This is something that can really help improve their hearing or sight.
Yeah. And Jackie says, I'm half deaf in my right ear because of Stapes hearing bones not vibrating enough. Would your product work?
If she has like conductive hearing loss, it should work pretty well. Anything conductive hearing that caused by damage, sickness, or born with it, or accidents, it'll work. So I work with people with gun incidents. They blew out their eardrums, or they had a sickness with it, remove a bone in their ear, right, the middle ear. It just penetrates through that damaged wall and it goes right into their inner ear. Then they can hear, right? So.
Well, it's a fantastic product, and my husband has obviously trialed it. You've done a lot of trials, and you've got a lot of feedback, which is, I love this. It's all customer-centric, human-centered, the way you do it, which I think is the best way for innovation. So I love what you're doing. I wish you all the success, and in case people want to find out about you, I've got your website is running right now on the screen, so you can find it there, theinnerflow.com. anything else in terms of how people can reach out to you, get you on their shows, or they may know people? How can we help you if anyone is listening?
I think just, everyone knows someone with hearing loss. So, referrals are obviously the best. Looking through my website, be educated. There's technology on there. That's why I love my website. It's just very thorough on things, where it talks about my life, talks about the CEO, talks about my products, technology, testimonies, and then you have the online shopping to 140 countries. I've tested it. It works. They just have to pay the shipping. But I think the important thing is, I think that getting different countries and different people in the world of all ages to try it, and it will just grow, right? So I just want every country to maybe try taking a risk and just try it out. It's a good investment. It's a great bargain for the price. For something that's life changing. Your child can learn better. Your loved ones can hear better. They can hear their grandchildren talk. They can hear the birds chirp. Where they can't really hear normally. So I feel like hearing and sight is such an important thing, and it's such an underserved market, that my product is going to be a significant, big turnaround for the hearing industry. But I do offer a 10% promotion, so seniors 10. So you put that into the promo code, you get 10% off, seniors 10. So there you go, save $30.
Yeah, put that in the comments afterwards as well, so people can check that out. But I think you're so right in terms of hearing loss. It can really make you feel lonely, like isolated, when you can't hear other people talking and feeling part of it. My husband, my dad is pretty much can't hear anything these days, right? And he doesn't like wearing hearing aids, so we should probably buy your product for him. So look at that.
Yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm.
So thank you so much for being here. And Phil, you're still here. I appreciate. He says I'm naturally introverted, for real. I wouldn't have guessed that if you know Phil Davis. But thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate it. Jackie said she will reach out to you.
Thank you. And please follow me on the Flo Group, my Instagram, the Flo Group. And if you go on my website, if you can subscribe, that's another thing. Subscribe so you can follow up with updates and any events, any Dragon's Den, updates. I can share it with people, TV shows, legacy makers, right? So lots of great stuff that I feel is great content and great things that's going to help me get more exposure, such as this platform. And I'm really grateful that you bring me back, and you're such one of my biggest supporters. And I feel like you're one of my biggest mentors, and I love you for that.
Oh, I appreciate it. I think what you have is fantastic, and I'm all about people who have something to share with the world that can change people's life. Yeah, social impact is important to me. It's important to this world, and relying on, this is my personal belief, relying on the governments to do it for us is not going to work, because it hasn't worked for many years. Just look at how many people are still suffering, right? So I think it's up to us individually, whatever we can do in life to help other people is how we're going to change the world, one person at a time. And I love that you are being honest. You're saying you're doing this yourself and you're putting in the hard yards to change the world, right?
100%, especially with the world's problems right now, people are going to really think clearly what they want to spend their hard-earned money on. And what better than hard-earned money to help your hearing and your sight, right? That's such an important thing, right? So, yeah.
Yeah, and anyone who wants to be an entrepreneur, it's not easy, but if you got something to share with the world, go and do it, because this is the way we change it, right?
100%. I was just an average, normal guy like 2 years ago. Now it's just, I'm really, getting, more positive exposure, and anyone can do it, right? I never thought I'd be in this position, but I'm enjoying every bit of it. So.
Yeah, which is a fantastic too, because you're not just giving to others, you're actually finding your own passion, you're finding your purpose, you're finding things that actually makes you feel like you showing up every day. You got something to do, right? That's valuable, which is, life, and it's life, and what do you call it? Life enforcing. What do you call it? Life enhancing.
Yeah.
Emotion.
Yeah, something like that.
I don't know. Better go now. It's finished. It's supposed to be Snappy Chat. So we'll finish now. So thank you so much for your time. Musi wishes you all the best for Africa and counting him in for the African market. I thought you were in America, Musi, but there we go. And Randy says, thank you so much for a very informative Snappy Chat. Thank you for being here. And thank you, Michael. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.